I feel a strong calling to have a conversation about honesty, about truth. I have the feeling, and I've been hearing so many things about spiritual teachers and communities and weird things happening in the spiritual space. And I'm like, huh? How is that even possible? Like if you're on the spiritual path, in my experience, you just get more loving, more truthful, more transparent. So to hear all of these things going on is quite a surprise to me. So I had a strong calling today and yesterday too. Like, let's get let's get real. Let's have some nice, beautiful. Hello, welcome. Let's get real. Let's have some conversations. I just opened the Akashic records of honesty and truth, so that's gonna be fun. And I have here the chat, the YouTube chat next to me. So feel free to, if you have any questions or input in the conversation, feel free to chat it with me. I will take as much as possible with me, and I have my beautiful Sacred Alignments community members in front of me, so we can have some great fun together. I'm looking forward to this conversation. So my main intention actually is, you know, I have the feeling the world is craving truth. There is at the moment so much fakeness, and it's so easy to create fake information that that already on the social media channels there is a lot of fakeness. And I am playing a lot with AI, but I'm not sharing that much in the AI space because I value realness. But that doesn't mean a lot of people, because it has been so easy, we can generate now so much advertising and content and fake avatars and AI voices and all that, that yeah, it become easier than ever to create content. It's quite a step to create content. You need to really get out of your shell, and it's not made for everyone. So I'm grateful that it has also been hard for me, but I think it has been relatively easy for me to speak and to be in front of the camera. But yeah, for a lot of people, that's just like so uncomfortable. They rather just make something fake, and I understand. But we have been measuring and we have been experiencing things, and there are other videos of me where I put real and fake videos next to themselves, and you just feel a kind of energy sucking, energy draining thing. When I hear to an AI voice, it's somehow empty. And when I then hear to the same script from a real voice, all of a sudden there's way more warmth, there's depth, and I get energy instead of that energy has been drained away from me. And of course, I want every one of us to get energy instead of letting your energy be drained. But we need to be more careful than ever. And this morning, I recorded the energy update of August, because tomorrow it's August already. And one of the topics was also this. So it was repeated again to me, and I had some beautiful information on that. And then I hope I'm able to share that energy update later today, and at the latest, the 1st of August, tomorrow. But it's a very beautiful and packed energy update, and all of the topics that they were sharing about, I'll give the power back to you. And I think this is one of the first thing that will truly distinct ourselves from realness and fakeness, is, do you feel a person is in their power or not? And are you getting empowered when you spend time with them or not? And I believe we need to make some great, like, I don't know, like we need to start to feel into that. We need to make some great decisions into that. Also, there are so many things popping in my mind right now. This is just like what I'm talking about right now is maybe about creating content, but it's also about communities. I have had multiple people share with me, because I'm at the moment I'm very much on the topic of communities. I'm setting up my own community, and one thing is that some communities, they seem spiritual and high frequency, and you come in there and it's one big guilt trip. It's just completely people dramatizing their life and constantly victim mentality and constant healing. I'm like, wow, how is that even possible? So you intend to get into a space of high frequency, and then you're met with people that are all like, oh, help me, and all like, like that. A little bit of that can happen from time to time. But if a whole community is just constantly in a state of despair while it's being marked as a spiritual community, that's not good. And then there's another thing I heard today from a great friend. She was in a spiritual community, and there were just some people that went in there and completely destroyed the vibe. And man, it can be so devastating, right? If there's just one rotten apple inside of a basket of great apples, your whole basket might be rotten very soon. So we need to be super careful. And especially if you're here holding space or building communities, we need to be so careful with our energy. And that's also why I'm very careful with the energy of my community. And I have some rules set up, and I have some protections set up that, if a person is just disrupting the energy, then I will just say goodbye. If a person is constantly in a state of despair and is never sharing from a place of inspiration, from a place of winning, joy, is never sharing a revelation, but is only like, oh, help me. I will at one point also say, like, can you please change your vibe? And otherwise I need to show you the door. It's like, it's because of that energy takes so much from each of us, and it's just not of value. While a community space should be of value. And I believe it's the same with teachers. I recently heard a story of a great friend that had a spiritual teacher, and he started to become very weird in his behavior. And he started to not at all be in his power. He started to have, he started to even use his kind of spiritual authority to like very slittery connect. And I don't know if it was romantic or not, but kind of create a romantic connection, but very sneaky and just in the name of spirituality. Oof. Oof. I get like, wow. I get like these kind of feelings when I think about it. They are just not, they might feel some of the bliss the spiritual field can give, and I might be able to teach that. But like I also was reflecting with this friend, is like, for me, the spiritual path is also a path of becoming more holistic. What I mean with that is every area of your life will be infused with a level of spirit, with a level of unity, with a level of love. For example, part of my spiritual path was to take an honest look at myself and see where I was not thriving. Like, okay, I was meditating a lot and I was feeling all the bliss, and I had great friends, and and love relationships started to really be easy for me. And I started to have great relationships. But one area that it was completely lacking was money. And some people think even that your connection with money is not spiritual. But I strongly disagree. I think every person deserves to be prosperous and deserves to be abundant. But when I look at my life, I was neglecting that part. No, everything should be based on love, and we should just give and receive and all of those things. I was just not taking responsibility for my financial life. And part of my spiritual path was to look at the things that were not going well, that were kind of sucking in my life, that were holding me back, and just to spend some time on it, to just be honest and say, okay, I know nothing in this area. Can I find teachers that know about this area? Can I learn? Can I first maybe read a book and then apply what is in the book? And only by actually going there and becoming more conscious and understanding how money works and understanding how business works, even though I'm still at the very beginning, I became better in it. My beliefs became better in it. My mindset became better in it. And I start realizing that money is an energy. It's a flow. It's a current. Just like a lot of other spiritual energy that I was already familiar with. That's just an example. I don't want to go too much in that, but that's just an example of that the path of spirituality is a path of becoming more whole, which means integrating the parts that are actually not well. And if you have someone in your field, you're addressing, you can immediately see if that person is ready to grow into that or not. It's easy, right? If you're saying like, hey, this is not fair, or hey, I don't feel all right with this energy. If the person is truly on an honest path, on a truthful path, he will say, wow, thank you for the feedback. And he will see it as an opportunity to grow. But if the person is not ready, you will get maybe a defense or an offense, and there might be a trigger, and there might be something really not of high frequency coming back to you. And that shows sometimes what they are still holding in their field. So, with that little rant, I wanted to open this session. I have no clue where this session goes to, but I opened the connections of the Akashic records of honesty and truth. So let's just go into it. I want to ask my community members here, like if you have any question, please raise your hand. I asked my beautiful YouTube people. I have the chat here next to me. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. Let's have a conversation about this. Let's have a conversation about truth and about making sure truth stays honored in the spiritual space, in the digital space. Yeah. One thing for, okay, there's another rant coming. I don't see any questions yet. There's another rant coming. LinkedIn. Oh my God. Every time I come on LinkedIn, and I'm not so active on LinkedIn, I'm becoming more active on LinkedIn because I just feel in LinkedIn, people are having this fake formal screen in front of them, like this mask, this fake formal mask in front of them. And it just feels so fake. And I really want to be like a ding, like how you say that, like a tuning fork, like boom, here is some realness for you. Because, you know, like if I see a post on LinkedIn, I'm like, man, you would never talk like that to somebody else. Like, oh, with the greatest honor and the greatest gratitude, I enjoyed my last 15 years in this company, and now I am going into a new like you never talk like that in real life. Just say, hey, I have a new job, I'm happy. Hey, my old job was amazing. My new and I'm ready for a new opportunity. It doesn't have to be a whole page of very formal fake information. So of course, this is a little bit of my trigger, and I know I'm triggered. I know I'm triggered, but I feel I want to be a custodian of being truthful online. And it is scary, like in a way, like I'm vulnerable because I'm sharing so much content. I'm vulnerable to putting to being faked, right? Like people can make videos of me and they can send it to my family and they look very real, but they're made with AI. these kind of things. So there is this level of, oh my God, am I safe? So it is scary to put yourself out there. But I really feel, because I'm already over the edge anyway, I really feel like, okay, let's be real, let's be truthful, let's trust that I'm protected. Let's trust that the universe protects me on this mission. And let's call it out. Let's just call it out. If you feel connected with truth and you want more truth in your life, let's call it out. Let's have some great, just like honest, pure energy into this space of weirdness, into this space of, some in LinkedIn, it feels like very weird. But also on YouTube, I noticed that YouTube is starting to favor real content. Like in my timeline, instead of the over-edited, yo, flashy, this, that, look at this, bam, 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 look at me, boom, boom, Lamborghini millionaire, I'm gonna show you how to manifest. I just see a very honest guy in his 40s in the forest that didn't do any editing, that just brought his phone and he just put it on a tripod and he just says like, hey, I had a farm and now I'm into real estate and this is how I did it. And he's just super calm and honest. And I have the feeling that the YouTube algorithm is actually favoring it, because I see creators on my feed that have almost no views. While first only the best of the best were on my YouTube feed. Now I see a mixture of creators that are already a long time in the field with creators that are just beginning. And I think that's a really good thing. So our honesty, our transparency is going to be rewarded. And because fake is going to be so easy to make, our honesty is going to be so much more valuable. So actually, it's really great news. Honesty is going to be awesome. It's already awesome. You will feel like it's already amazing. But honesty is even going to be more valued. Right? So, okay, I will stop ranting. Let's take a big deep breath together. I'm so grateful to be with you. I see here in my Zoom chat, I have some messages. Yeah, like Idoka says, like, you feel it so heavy, so impersonal. Yeah, so true. It feels like that, right? Like, when did we decide to talk like that? Maybe it's still a remnant of the Industrial Revolution. I don't know. But one thing that I decided, I was talking with a great friend this morning. One thing that I decided is I'm not going to make any LinkedIn posts longer than 5 sentences. It's not going to be make it longer than 5 sentences. If I really need more words than 5 sentences, I will make a video. I will just make a short video and share it there. I'm not gonna do this long, like, oh man, after years of being very happy as a software tester, now I go into a completely different direction. Nah, let's be real. People feel it. People are not dumb. People, like, I don't know what it is on LinkedIn. I don't know if anybody, I have even LinkedIn people that have 20,000 followers that I speak to. They feel the same thing. They also don't like it. I had never had a person come to me, maybe because I'm so outspoken, I should be a little bit more toned down. But I never had a person that come to me is like, oh, I really like the tone of voice on LinkedIn. Oh, I really like this fake content. Oh, wow, I really like this AI voice that's talking to me right now. No. Anyway, are there any questions? Because I have the records open. This is gonna be a nice conversation. I just set the tone. Maybe it was a little bit too intense, let me know. But I think it's a good tone. I feel good. I feel like it should be more talked about. So, yes, Adoka, feel free to unmute yourself. I will put you on the screen too. You will not see that, but make sure the YouTube
Thank you.
people
Yeah, my question was, I've always been very honest. I am very honest. Of course, sometimes we are just not aware that we're not so much honest. But with dealing with people, sometimes that is a real burden. Of course, I'm not going to say, oh, I think you're stupid. No, not at all. But sometimes I say, well, if you have a lack of concentration and you have to study for a test, let's see what you're doing. Let's see how your sleep is going. Let's see what you're eating. If you're eating chocolates and ice creams, to be able to instead of having a nice meal, not to lose time in order to study, and then you're not able to concentrate. Of course, so you would have to change that in order to do that.
Mm.
And then people don't like it.
Yeah.
They prefer that I say, oh, I'm so sorry for you. Oh, you can't concentrate. Well, probably you will do it tomorrow. You know, I have been in such troubles because I'm really trying to love people and really trying to help them and really offered my help to help. Um, and being honest has been such a burden. So I would like, and what I did is I retracted my, at least, disponibility of being there and say, hey, can I help you? I probably, if you are interested, I would give you some hints for you to get concentration. I couldn't even say I'm going to make a consultation for you to pay me. I'm just saying, hey, probably we could talk about it. Nothing. So I retracted. I said, okay, let them fall and see. Probably when you're trashed in the floor, you will find someone to help you. But it's kind of, then I'm retracting because of being hurt, of not having, or probably I'm surrounded by people that doesn't even want my help and not in another frequency. So that would be about how can I practice my honesty, in what way that I can help, and at the same time I can feel better because it's really nice to share.
That's a beautiful
And also
question.
it's my profession. So
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. You're really talking kind of that there's a fine line between, being just brutally honest and kind of being honest by asking for permission. And I think permission is always a really great quality to say, hey, can I coach you? Or hey, can I? Sometimes I also do that, right? In our sessions, like, hey, is it okay if I coach you for a moment? Um, Luckily, you always says yes. You're always ready to be helped, which is a really great quality. But yeah, some people just they want to be in that comfort zone. And actually, it's very funny that you say that because the energy update of August was speaking very directly on this. I'm always amazed with the synchronicities on these live calls and what I've just been channeling. So let me ask the records real quick what they have to say about this fine line because I think it's such a great topic to navigate truly, right? So let me do that. Let me tune in. Can you help us on talking truthfully and at the same time being respectful of people's journeys so that we feel good and at the same time are truthful in our energies? Hmm. Dear one, thank you for your question. It is true that some are completely not ready to face their truth. And that is all right. In a way, you have to be feeling into in which way they like confrontation and in which way they don't like confrontation. And that's hard to feel. But you can always ask, first of all, hey, are you open for some feedback to better your life? Are you open for some feedback to shift you out of the situation that is hurting you now so much? And they can say yes or no. This is a really great quality. On social media, it works a little different because on social media, people can just swipe you away or scroll further. And therefore, they are giving you permission by being focused on your post and attention. And if you don't have their permission, they will go further. So when it comes to sharing online, no worries about that. They will decide if you and your message is valuable in their life by their attention they put on you. But when it comes to real life, it is a really good quality to ask, hey, can I give you some feedback? But especially let them also know about why you would love to give them feedback. So if you say, can I give you some feedback? It can be about anything and everything. But if you say, can I give you some feedback to better you so that you can better your life? Or can I give you some easy tips that might quickly shift you out of this situation? All of a sudden you asked permission with your intention. In that way, you're even more transparent because you want to share feedback and you share immediately your intention. Then they can still say no. And when they say no, please respect that. Another thing that is really good when they say no is to say, okay, and then see if the feedback you want to give this person actually would be beneficial for your own life. Because in many moments, when a person brings something up in you, it is also great advice for you. There are a lot of mirrors in your life, in each of your life. The connections that come to you are sometimes challenges, sometimes contracts, sometimes mirrors. So whenever the person says no, okay, you might just leave it at that and respect their answer. Or you might say, okay, I respect your answer, but the advice that I want to give to this person, can I do something with it myself? In this way, you will definitely feel better because you give yourself the effect that you actually wanted to give the other person. And so it's a win-win. When they say yes, you are allowed to help them. When they say no, you are allowed to help yourself. And I believe that this energy dynamic is of the truest form of human communication. You are respectful to their journey, and at the same time, you are growing yourself by every interaction you might have. Now, why are people not ready for the truth? From our perspective, it is understandable, but we need to have empathy for human life, even though your dimension is almost incomprehensible to us. We would love to show and give you some patterns that we see in the records. Why humans are not always liking the truth. First of all, some humans believe that growth is not comfortable. They believe that short-term pleasure is better than long-term pleasure. And you might see this a lot. What we mean with that is short-term pleasure can be, for example, like you said, some nice, quick, prepared and processed food or some fast food. That gives short-term pleasure and a lot of taste and sweetness and fats and sugars, which are all very pleasant in the moment itself. But even after 5 or 10 minutes after the meal, you will start to feel a little bit distorted. And about 1 or 2 hours after the meal, you might feel very distorted. And if you do that again and again and again, you might land in a hospital because of this habit. Now, what that person really is not getting is that they are constantly choosing short-term pleasure over long-term pleasure. They are not realizing that if they would have eaten some fruits that would be prepared in the same amount of time, but would have way more healthy sugars than their ice cream, they would have lived an absolutely vital and vibrant life. And on the long term, they will just feel themselves get more vibrant, more vital, and more great. They will just get more alive. But because they are not seeing that long-term benefit, they will choose short-term pleasure. And in that same way, hearing the truth is most of the time, especially when they are not aligned with their truth, because compliments can also come from truth, and that is short-term and long-term pleasure. But when there is feedback that might require them to change, it creates short-term discomfort. They need and are invited to step out of their comfort zone. And if their mind is completely tuned to the short-term pleasure, it's gonna be very much against their wiring. And we say wiring because their wiring is not their nature. How their neurons are currently functioning are actually quite the opposite of how nature has it designed for you. But because nature and God has been so gracious to give you a plastic mind and give you neuroplasticity, that means that it gives you the complete ability to change your neurons and the composition of your neurons to your liking. You are allowed to have a wiring completely the opposite of how natural health and vitality and truth has been flowing in your life. So when someone is truly neglecting themselves and their truth, and are therefore also dismaying your compliments, there is a strong chance that their wiring has been moved to short-term pleasure and staying in their comfort zone instead of seeing that long-term pleasure is the only way to truly live in happiness and in harmony. Every human, unfortunately, needs to make that decision on themselves. We cannot force it. Their wiring will just simply neglect all of that information, and the energy might be very used. It's not truly used, it will always be recycled, but you might feel depleted because you were moving a lot of energy to help while their wiring is completely and immediately throwing it in their trash bin, and they will not change in doing anything. So this way of asking for permission and sharing your intention is truly respectful to their path, and know that they can always come back to you when they feel ready to hear it. They might even come back to you in one day, but to start helping them while they are not giving you permission, or they are simply not wired to receive your information, is not of the highest good to each one of you. You can better use your energy to reflect on yourself, and they can better use their energy to let life move them into their own realizations. So when they start realizing that long-term pleasure is the name of the game, they can come to you for advice because they know you have offered it to them before. We hope this shines a light on the area and the way you can position yourself in such situations. But like we said, when it comes to the digital space, you do not have to care so much about this. People are giving permission with their attention. They have so many opportunities and reasons to stop or click away or scroll further that you don't have to ask permission per se on social media. You can share the advice you need to share that is from your heart, and it will reach automatically the people that are ready for it. And that might be a big relief for many that are tempting to start sharing their truth, but are not doing it because they're afraid they might hurt or disappoint somebody. If the person is not ready, they might not even see your content. So do not worry about that. You are energetically protected, especially when you share from a place of truth. Oof. Wow. Hmm. That was quite beautiful. I'm so grateful for you asking that question. So, yeah, that gave a lot of insight to me actually. That was very beautiful. Well, I was a little bit in a state of rebelliousness when my group of friends from computer science came here to my city to have a workation. Every day they were drinking, and I was, if you would see me 10 years ago, I was drinking with them, but I stopped alcohol, and I now so much like not drinking alcohol that I just want to wish everyone to see how amazing life can be if you, for a long term, not touch it. Um, but I was a little bit too rebellious and a little bit too oomph in it. So I wish I had this answer back then. I could be a little bit more like, hey guys, I see you drinking a lot of alcohol. Would you love to hear my thoughts on it? Because I have the feeling there is something really awesome to experience here. And if they said no, no, and they order another beer, then they were no, okay, okay, still gonna have fun with you, and I'm actually gonna reflect it back to me. I love that. I love what came through. Thank you so much for that. This is beautiful. Let me know if there is some thoughts on it, because I also see some more questions in the chat or some more conversation in the chat. So I would love to. Idoka, would you love to respond a little bit to the answer, or do you feel complete?
Yeah, I feel complete. I believe, yeah, the last words you said are very much a mirror, because many times I just go and tell people with the best intention something,
Hmm.
but sometimes they are they feel like I'm hitting them
Yeah.
because probably they're not aware and they didn't give me the permission.
Yeah.
So it's the contrary. So yeah, as it is not like drink somewhere. And sometimes also we have I think that is one of my best gifts, that I can see through people
Mm.
and I can see them inside. And it's not only in, oh, this person is saying, oh, I love you, and it's not the truth.
Mm.
It's I can just pass and see the burdens and what they're suffering, and that really is something that I'm able to see.
Exactly.
And yeah, and then our feelings are, oh, let me help.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's even worse because sometimes we get this illumination, or we learn something which is so good for humanity that we would love to share with everyone.
Yeah.
And people probably is not ready, or will never be ready, or don't have that interest at all.
Yeah.
And so the probably is not their time. And just hopefully I can find some people to share.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also, I
That
think
was
you will save a lot of time, right? You
Mhm.
will save a lot of time if you very quickly notice, oh, these are not the right persons. Okay, I really want to share this. Let me find the right group. You might save months or even years not spending time with the wrong persons and going to the right persons if you are very honest up front. I think that's a
Yeah,
great
and
point.
that's something that I realized, and it was one of the best lessons I've ever learned in my life. And is that the only real valuable thing that I have in life is time, because it's my time
Yeah.
of life.
Yes.
So when it's gone, it's gone.
Yes.
I can't have it. I can't buy it. I can't whatever.
Yes.
So if I give you 5 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours of my time, is an hours of my life spent with you.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, then like we better make sure such hours are well spent.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's a very powerful thing. Yes, that's so true. Thank you for reflecting. This brings me also to something that I was thinking about, because I was doing this. Like tomorrow we start this event, August of Abundance, but I don't like to, like, it's a free event, so I want to say I don't like selling, but it's a free event. It's not really selling, but it's about constantly promoting, right? So every video I just wanted to say something about it or promote something about it. And at one point I also felt like, no, like let me just not do this anymore. Let me just make sure people can find, if they want to go deeper, they find the links in the description or maybe in the comments. But let me just have the video itself be purely the video itself. Because then it automatically, like, the people that don't are necessarily interested in joining, they will continue with whatever they want to do. And the people that do want to join, they will look further in the description or in the comments, and they will find what I'm doing, and they will find some more intimate settings like August of Abundance. But I don't want to share it that much anymore after every video and like everything. Like I feel people are smart enough, and that's also one thing that I learned from my business coach, is like, people are smart enough. I don't want to say anymore like, oh, please subscribe, right? Like, please subscribe to my channel if you want to know more, or please watch to the end if you want to know secret 5, or all these YouTube things that I just get cringed. I just get cringed. But I also notice when you're all of a sudden on YouTube, like, subscribers and interactions and likes are actually really important. So I understand now from the creator perspective, like, okay, it's actually nice to maybe ask to help the creator, but at the same time, I'm completely tired of all the YouTubers that say, please like and subscribe. Please support my channel if you want to know more. Like, no, they are smart enough. They know where the subscribe button is. They know where the like button is. I'm not going to say these things anymore. I'm not going to even have, some people have these animations where people click on the subscribe button and the bell icon and all of that stuff. I'm like, no, they know YouTube. They are here by now. if they really enjoy and are like, I feel more truthful not saying it, even though it might hurt this channel and I might not be able to grow that fast. But I feel more truthful just staying on the topic and giving value. And I realized this literally yesterday and today. So maybe one of the other reasons I just wanted to open the conversation here is to just, because I'm feeling shifts inside of me, being more honest. And one of that is just like, let me assume all of my watchers are beautiful, smart, honest, and blissful people. I don't need to tell them where the subscribe button is. They will know. And some people would love, and they know in one video, and all others will know in 20 videos. But I'm just here to create the value that I can create. And I'm gonna assume that all of the people watching will just be smart, and they will know where to find me if they want to find me. And I think that's so much more honest and truthful. So that sharing reminded me of that.
And something else, this generates a nice, great energy, because as we're talking, I'm feeling lighter and I'm feeling more awake and I'm feeling, oh yes, and I kind of feel like happy, happier,
Beautiful.
which is, yeah. So it's a way of enjoying our own honesty instead of, you know, like training for a box fight.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, thank you for reflecting that back to me. I'm so happy for that. Yeah, that's what realness does. That's what realness does, right? That's what authenticity does. I love that. If there's anyone here here in the Zoom meeting, if you want to say something else, please raise your hand. I am at the moment seeing a beautiful sharing in the chat. So I just want to quickly open the chat here. Sina is in the chat. And I will read some of the comments because I think it's a beautiful expansion of what we have been talking about. So she shared, what are some of the best ways of discerning the truth? I understand that each person's truth can also differ from another. What are some of the best ways of being able to navigate when two people's truth may start to go in different directions? And is there a universal truth? I've also noticed a method of subtle manipulation where it's 80% or 70% of the truth, and then the other 20 or 30% misguided or manipulated facts, as to be harder to discern. How does one navigate being able to best discern when someone is twisting and warping truth with mistruth in order to push their own agenda? And will someone who is operating from the truth ever force or coerce others into acting against their own will, even if it's the most subtle ask or request when someone says no? Does a spiritual leader or someone standing in their sovereignty and truth respect that? No? Or would that be a red flag indicating of someone not acting in alignment with their truth? Wow. First of all, beautifully worded. Thank you for wording it. I would love to go straight to the records to answer your question. So, dear records, can you please shine some light on Sina's question? We are very grateful for having you putting that question into this conversation, because this is of a vital importance to anyone who would love to discern. The most simple question or answer that we can give to your question is the following. you will feel. Now we will, of course, expand on this, but that's the very most direct answer, is you will feel if somebody comes from full truth or half truth or mistruth compared with truth. There is something stingy or icky about such situations. Of course, so far we might have been talking completely about fake versus truth, but the beautiful thing about your question is, yes, it can a lot of times be blended. And it can be blended consciously or be blended unconsciously. Somebody might want to share the truth, but is also avoiding a pain that is inside of them. And therefore, they are sabotaging their truth sharing, not because they want to share mistruth, but because they're avoiding a pain, or they don't want another traumatic event to happen in the past. And so, their behavior might not even be conscious in that sense, and they might not even know that they are putting mistruth into their message or into their energy. And we are all human, lots of humans say, but every human is on a journey of purification. And pure humans, it is not a human quality to be distorted in mistruth. It is not. It is not a human quality to entertain yourself with all kinds of vices. You might say, but we are human, so I can validate this behavior. And we are not talking about you, we are talking about humans in general, because you are on a great journey of purification yourself. But we say to every human in general, come on, especially when they say, come on, we're all human. Come on, I can smoke this cigarette, I'm human. I can eat this very unhealthy meal and drink a bottle of vodka. We're all human. Then you're not having a true definition of human in our experience. We hold the word human incredibly high. Humans have one of the most advanced energy bodies. Your energy bodies are wide in their dimensions, and your bodies are very efficient. Your Earth and many species did a great job to form the body and mind of the human sapiens, including the DNA structure that you are enjoying. Your body runs on absolute perfection 24/7, and it's doing its absolute best in doing so. So human, for us, we immediately put it in the most purest form. Of course, you can enjoy the world you are incarnated in, but don't blame it on your humanness. Blame it on your own level of self-worth, or your own ignorance on how beautiful and important your body is and what it needs to be vital and how you can help it. But anyway, that's a complete different topic. We were moving astray from the answer. What we want to say here is, yes, humans blend truth with mistruth, sometimes consciously and sometimes unconsciously. When it's unconscious, it can be a really great opportunity to find the light. When it is conscious, it is a red flag. And you will feel. So let us feel into a couple of things. And every human has the ability to feel this. Every human knows that, for example, they might take a walk and all of a sudden they see a shady street and they just feel, I shouldn't, even though it might be the fastest path to my destination, I don't like the energy of the street. And they will take a detour just because the energy of the street was off. That same sense can feel if food is off and also if a person's intentions are off. The more you open up to reality, the more easy it is to feel someone's intention. And if the intention is clouded and covered by their own interest of by low frequency moods, you will feel it. And therefore they can sometimes use things that are true and very inspirational with things that are not so much in your favor, just to get a desired outcome that is only beneficial to the teacher. So I would suggest that you can rewind some of the situations you went through and feel into them. Feel into that sense that stops you from walking in a street. You might also, it's a knowing and a feeling at the same time, because it's the same feeling when you are walking. And first you feel, okay, I need to go outside. But at one point, you will notice you need to go back inside and it's time to return home. What is that? What is that sense? Because you might feel that outside will always be a better option than inside, but it is not true. The flow of your day can be a complete flow of truth if you allow yourself to listen to that sense that when you're inside knows that you need to take a walk. And that same sense that when you're walking knows when you need to turn around and go back home. It's the same sense that stops you from walking the street. It's the same sense that allows you to feel if a person is honest or not. Based on your question, it is really good to make a distinction. If the person shares mistruth consciously or unconsciously. If they share it consciously, they feel a little bit like a forceful, angry man. While if they do it unconsciously, the same quality feels more like a vulnerable child that is defending themselves. And at the beginning, it might be hard to sense these fabrics of the energetic field, but the information is there. And the best way to discern is to really move into your feeling. To also make sure we covered all of the situations. There is one more situation. There are spiritual teachers that are so far in their understanding, they will be able to see what is best for you, even though the egoic mind is not happy to hear the news. And that is very different. Because, for example, when they say, please do the dishes, while you don't want to do the dishes, if you feel in the energy of their command or their instruction, you will still feel, no, it's actually 100% right. I need to start doing the dishes. It's actually the best and in the highest good for all. you will not sense that same mistrust and mistruth that we have been talking about. So by feeling into the energy quality, or you feel complete purity and it's good for you and it's good for the other person and it just feels like expansion, or it feels like a little bit expansion, but it also feels a little bit icky, a little bit iffy. There is a certain, I don't know about this kind of feeling that comes into your field. Feel a little deeper. Feel if that I don't know about this comes from your own mind, comes from their energy, and they feel kind of forcefully pushing something, or it comes from their own energy and they feel defending something and deflecting something. Those are the qualities to look for, because every human has such a sense. You all have a truth sensor, and we are pointing you towards it. It's part of your inner compass. It becomes more powerful than ever to listen to it. So we are very grateful you have brought this up. And to train yourself, next to being in your current situation, you can use the past as a tool to bring some of the situations back into your imagination and see if you can feel the quality of the energy you are interacting with. Your mind is powerful and alive, and you are able to do that very beautifully. So find some time in contemplation, going back to a couple of moments and see if certain persons came from truth, or if you would able to feel some kind of mistruth in the energy of those interactions, and you will hone your own truth sensor and make it more profound and more powerful in doing so. Thank you so much, dear one. Wow. That was beautiful. Thank you for the beautiful question. That was really, really, really beautiful. So I hope it helps. Let me know. And I want to thank everyone for joining. I see we're already an hour in, and my intention was to make this along the line of an hour. So thank you for joining me on this journey into truth. I'm looking forward to stepping more into it myself. And yeah, I think it's a very good quality to cultivate and to listen to. It will be such a protection mechanism, and you will save so much energy and so much time, right? Those are the most beautiful qualities I believe we can really take ownership of and attend to, is our ownership and time, or our energy and time. So let us listen more to it. My intention is to constantly come from it. And I really enjoyed this conversation with both the community members and with the chat here. Thank you for your interaction. I had so much fun. Let's see each other soon. I will post the energy update very soon. It's gonna be my 80th video. I was like, oh my God, it's the 8th month and it's gonna be my 80th video on YouTube. So I'm very excited about that. What an alignment. How do they do it?
888.
888.
A lot of 8.
A lot of 8. Exactly.
That's infinite.
So yeah, I posted my last video and it was like, oh, video 79. That means the energy update is gonna be the 80th. If you don't count this live stream then. Because otherwise this live stream is 80th. Anyway, it's a beautiful alignment, and I wish you an incredible last day of July and an amazing start of August. I'm gonna prepare myself for the abundance event. Maybe see you there, maybe see you elsewhere, but I send you so much love. Bye bye, everyone. Mwah. Thank you.
Bye bye. Much love.